What's up, 7th grade? Mr. Agnos here. This video is for homework 7-4. And in this, for this topic, we're going to be subtracting algebraic expressions. So we worked on addition last week. This week we're working on subtraction. So the first thing you should do is have a notebook or a piece of scratch paper out, and you should always start by rewriting the problem. So this is number 1, and it says I have 13m minus 2 plus 3m. Okay, and the way I want you to think about this is, hey, all right, we're starting with 13m. So this is my first step, is just rewriting it. We're starting with 13m. I'm subtracting everything inside the parentheses. So I'm subtracting 2, and I'm subtracting a positive 3m. And the way we subtract a positive number is just by saying minus 3m. Okay, so I'm going to say that one more time. We need to subtract everything inside the parentheses. So I'm subtracting a 2, but I'm also subtracting a positive 3m, right? So when I rewrite it without the parentheses, this is what it's going to look like, right? There's a second way to think about it, and that is when you subtract something that's inside parentheses, everything inside the parentheses, it gets the opposite sign. So notice that this 2 here is a positive 2, right? If there's nothing in front of it, it's a positive 2. Well, now it's a minus 2. And notice that this plus 3m is now a minus 3m. Okay, but I think the easier way to think about it is, hey, I'm subtracting everything inside the parentheses, so I need to subtract a 2, and I need to subtract a 3m. So I look through my choices here. They all start with 13m. I need a minus 2. So there's a minus 2 and a minus 2. And then I need a minus 3m. Well, this one still has the plus 3m. This one we are subtracting 3m. Got it. Okay, if you need to pause and rewind and watch this again, go ahead and do it. The basic idea is we're subtracting everything inside the parentheses. So since I have a positive 2 here, I'm subtracting 2 here. Since I have a positive 3m here, I'm subtracting 3m here. Okay, they're going to throw some wrinkles at you, right? Little curveballs. So let's take a look at number 2. First step is always rewrite the problem on our scratch paper or in our notebook. And again, that's just coincidence that we're starting with 13m. And I'm subtracting, well, this time I'm subtracting a negative 9m and a minus 5. So what's going to happen here is we're going to get into where we're subtracting negative numbers. All right, so we're going to start again with 13m. I think that's just coincidence. And then I need to subtract negative 9m. So I subtract negative 9m, and I subtract a minus 5. Now I know this looks really messy, but we're going to clean this up. So what we're doing is we're just subtracting each term individually, right? I'm subtracting the minus 9m right here, and I'm subtracting the minus 5 right here. Well, for this problem, we actually do have one more step. We have to clean all these negatives up. So I still have 13m. All right, when I subtract a negative, right? If I gave you 2 minus a minus 3, remember that's the same as adding, right? If I subtract a negative, these become positive, and we say, well, that's just equal to 5. So same thing here. If I subtract a negative, it's the same as adding. So subtracting a negative 9m is the same as adding 9m. And if I subtract a negative 5, that's the same as adding 5. So what started off looking like this finishes by looking like this, because we're subtracting negatives. So now I go through my choices here. They all start with 13m. I need a plus 9m plus 5. That would be choice B. All right, so again, if you need to, pause, go back, watch both those first 2 examples. Sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4 times, right, to kind of get how this works. We're subtracting each piece inside the parentheses, and that may mean that, hey, we're subtracting a negative, in which case it becomes addition. All right, I think I have time to go over 2 more. So I'm going to skip ahead to number 5. All right, number 5 says a company has 2 manufacturing plants. So they have 2 facilities where they're building stuff with daily production levels of, and then they give us these equations or these expressions. So one plant is 7x plus 19. That's how much stuff they create. The other plant creates 2x minus 7. The first plant produces how many more items daily than the second plant, right? In other words, if I want to find out how much bigger this is than this, I need to subtract the 2, right? If I want to find out how much bigger 7 is than 5, I would say, well, take 7, subtract 5, right? It's 2 bigger. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to rewrite this as, we're going to write this as 7x plus 19. And then from that, we want to subtract this whole piece right here. And since we're subtracting this whole piece, we're going to put it in parentheses, right? 7x plus 19 minus 2x minus 7. Okay, we're subtracting this whole piece, which is why we still have the parentheses here, from this expression right here. And now we do just what we did before. So I still have 7x plus 19. I'm going to subtract 2 x's, so I have minus 2x. And I'm going to subtract a minus 7. So that would be minus a minus 7. So I subtracted 2x, there it is right there, and I subtracted a minus 7. All right, we got a lot we can do here. The first thing notice is that I have 7 x's here, but I take away 2 x's here. So this is combining like terms, right? I have 7 x's here, but I take away 2 x's, so I'm left with 5 x's. I'm going to leave the 19 alone for right now. So we still have plus 19. All right, I'm subtracting a negative 7. When I subtract a negative, it becomes adding. So there's step 3. And then my last step is, well, I have some constants here. Remember, constant is just a plain old number. So think of constants as $1 bills, right? I have 19 $1 bills here. I have 7 more $1 bills here. So I can combine those into one pile of $1 bills. So I end up with 5x, let's see, 19 plus 7 is 26. So this ugly expression up here in pink, once we get it all simplified and cleaned up, is just equal to 5x plus 26. Again, I highly encourage you to pause and maybe watch that again. It takes more than one time seeing it to really let it sink in. Okay, the last question I'm going to go over. And again, that's the benefit of the video, is you can go back now and you can rewatch that same problem. Just watch it 2-3 times until you're like, okay, I see what he's doing, right? I see the rhythm of the problem, right? The last one we're going to do is number 6. Number 6 is even more complicated than number 5 because we have to write the expressions and then subtract them from each other. So we have 2 communications companies. So think 2 cell phone companies. Company X charges 25 cents to connect a phone call and then 5 cents for each minute. All right. 25 cents to connect and then 5 cents for each minute. So let's think about that. So company X. So here's company X, right? They want us to use their variable. They want us to use n for minutes. Sorry, my phone's ringing. They want us to use n for minutes. Okay. Sorry, people trying to give me credit cards. Okay, so it costs 25 cents. All right, there's my 25 right there. And then 5 cents for each minute. That means this whole sentence right here, that means plus 5 cents for each minute. So this is an expression that says, hey, this is how much it this expression represents the cost structure for company X. Okay, and then for company Y, I want a different color. For company Y, it costs 15 cents to connect, right? So we're going to have a 15 and then 4 cents for each minute. So the way I would write that is plus 4n, right? 4 cents for every minute, n is the number of minutes. Okay, so 25 cents to connect plus 5 cents per minute. For company Y, 15 cents to connect plus 4 cents per minute. Write and simplify an expression representing how much more company X charges for n minutes. Well, again, if I want to find out how much more this is than this, I subtract. And again, I'll use an easy example. If I want to know how much more 8 is than 3, I would do 8 minus 3. Okay, I'm trying to use the same colors here. So I would do 8 minus 3, and we would get 5. And I'll put green because 5 is the right answer. Yay, 5. So 5 is that's how much more 8 is than 3. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to start off with 25 plus 5n. And then we're going to subtract this whole piece. And you have to include the parentheses here because we're subtracting this whole thing. So I'm going to subtract 15 plus 4n. Okay, if you don't use the parentheses, what's going to happen is you're going to end up not subtracting this 4n, right? You're going to do minus 15, and then you're going to leave this as a plus 4n. And we're not adding 4n, we're subtracting 4n. So let's rewrite this. 25 plus 5n minus, well, I have to subtract a 15, and I have to subtract a 4n. Right? And so this positive 4n becomes a minus 4n because we're subtracting it. Now we're going to combine some like terms. I have 5 n's here, but I take away 4 n's. That means I'm left with 1 n, and we don't write the 1, so I would just write n. And then I have 25 $1 bills, but I take away 15, so I still have 10 $1 bills. So n plus 10. I skipped a step. It says, which of these expressions, so we're looking for this expression right here, right? So I went ahead and finished the whole problem. So 25 plus 5n, boom, there it is right there, minus 15 plus 4n. So that's the first part. The expression blank represents how much more. So this is what represents how much more company X charges than company Y. So I'll go ahead and put n plus 10. Okay, I think this assignment's pretty challenging, so I really expect us to struggle on this first day. So if you need to pause, rewatch any of those problems, do it. Make sure you're asking questions in class. And again, our goal is, today's Tuesday, our goal is on Friday, right, to feel better about this, right? We'll have done it a second time. So by the end of Friday, we want to say, okay, I can reliably subtract 2 expressions, one from the other. We're not going for mastery in 2 days here, right? But hey, can I reliably subtract 2 expressions? All right, make sure to ask lots of questions, and I'll see you guys in class.